Hello guys, Tops here. Today I revisit the AOE hammer build. And we just did Black Monolith, so our boy lost one of his ears, right? He also has a pierced cheek. Okay, so this guy is an Oath Taker that got strong and dexterous, but no stars in melee skill and defense, so I kinda just made him into a nimble tempo build. I made a lot of this run, and I played a lot with 9 lives, and I went pure stats. So I always took defense and attack and hit points. I never skilled, fatigue, resolve, or any other stat. Just melee, skill, and defense with hit points. And then I went for gifted, Colossus, dodge, 9 lives, Pathfinder, underdog, nibble, berserk, killing frenzy, headhunter. So, and I wasn't sure, I just gave him a random two-hander, I think an axe or something, and I wasn't really sure what to do with him. He was just doing his two-hander thing. Then I found a famed hammer, and this famed hammer has 66% armor pen, so 16% more armor pen, and -3 fatigue buildup. So normally I would probably skip one of the perks to get a weapon mastery. But I gotta say, with a weapon that has -3 fatigue buildup, this was pretty nice. And I used this guy as my AOE hammer build. And I gotta say, he performed well. And I think the biggest problem with the AOE hammer build is the fact that you need a bro that has ridiculous stats. Something like a lone wolf, right? You need incredible attack, defense, and you need all the fatigue in the world. And the good thing about making this guy nimble is, basically, you don't have to skill fatigue if you wear Knight Limble gear and and the weapon. That's kind of like -30 fatigue or something. So even if you don't skill fatigue at all, with most backgrounds, you still have like 70 usable fatigue per turn. That's roughly the same as like a lone wolf with famed gear, right? So that basically cuts out fatigue, and you only need a bro that has decent defense and good attack. In this case, I have good attack and decent defense. To be fair, he rolled well. He had good starting stats and he rolled pretty well. It's an Oath Taker after all. But as you can see, like, his defense isn't that high and his attack is pretty good, but I got lucky. So like, this is kind of what you normally would prefer for the classic build, and I think positioning is important with him. And so this is my forge tank, and I basically put him on the left flank, which is the pressured one. And you kind of want to go on the left flank because you hit counterclockwise. And I kind of want to position my tank like somewhere here to take a couple opponents, and then like this guy gets randomly surrounded by one opponent. Sometimes he fights 1 versus 1, and 1 versus 1 hammer with headhunter just smacks, you know. He's no problem in 1 versus 1s against anything because of his nimble 9 lives combination. But even against multiple opponents, he can stand his ground because of the AOE hammer. And I found this particularly useful versus orcs, and to a certain degree useful against Chosen. His survivability because of nimble is lower than Battleforge, but he has 9 lives, and that is all the difference. If you can get a bro, if you just give a bro 9 lives, like, a lot of the times you get an additional turn in order to save your bro. And having something like a sword lance built with rotation, or the Bannerman with rotation behind him, that means a lot of the time I can go, rotate him out and save him if he gets into trouble. So this survivability is pretty nice. Also, you are nimble, so you can completely ignore fatigue, and that means you have more stats for other things, right? You can have insane hit points, and you can go for dodge, which gives you in return additional defense. If you actually berserk, you're gonna use up your fatigue, but not that fast as I thought. Even without weapon mastery, so because this is a famed one with negative fatigue. Well, again, I think if you find a famed hammer like this, you can actually do pretty well with him. And I think the positioning, that's kind of like the thing that I just realized makes a lot of a difference. I can't just put this guy alone on the flank and expect him to perform the same as my Battleforge or my Nimble tank. He just won't. He just won't. Even somebody like my Lone Wolf, who has like God stats and is like the perfect row, is not performing. Like, I can't put this guy alone versus 3 Chosen or 3 Orc Warriors and expect him to win every single time and never get into trouble. It's not gonna happen. He will get hit at some point. He will get hit badly. He will catch an injury and then he's in trouble, right? We need to help him. So I think having this guy on the flank, but not on the complete flank, in combination with a Forge or Nimble tank, means the tank draws a lot of attention, and this guy can just take care of what's coming through to him, right? And a lot of the time that means he is dealing with opponents 1 versus 1, which is incredibly strong with a hammer, especially against orcs. The fastest way to kill an orc is through headshots. And if you get like your 25% chance of an headshot, with that armor pen, you basically 2-shot orc warriors, at least the lower ones. By the way, Chosen tool, you just demolish them. Yeah, and I think this combination worked very well for me. I highly recommend you try that out for yourself. And I could see this even work with the normal hammer build, with the normal, just a normal great hammer. Quick Hands would add utility to that build. Overwhelm, I think, doesn't really work well with that build because you would need to invest a lot in initiative. I think I already did an Overwhelm build with Nimble Forge. It was kind of okay, but then you would use other perks. So this is kind of like an approach where you can use a brother that just has decent melee skill and decent attack and defense, but it's like it's an Oath Taker. He doesn't have a lot of fatigue, although this guy would have had a lot of fatigue if I skilled into that. But I didn't, and still, like, so you can just take, most Oath Takers can made into this build, and most Hedge Knights as well, even the guys who aren't that good. But this one, I think this is probably just an Oath Taker build, because Oath Takers have less fatigue and tend to have, on average, higher melee skill, with similar defenses and higher resolves as well, with higher initiative, so you get more defense from dodge if you skill dodge, in this case. And the 9 lives is just for the moment when you get hit and stuff goes wrong, right? So, just the normal nimble combo with Colossus and Underdog for survivability. Pathfinder to get into the place at every time where you need to be. Gifted for more stats. And then Berserk, Killing Frenzy with Headhunter to just smash your opponents and obliterate them. And when things go wrong, you still have 9 lives. And I think it is really important that you have the Bannerman with rotation. I really like the Bannerman with rotation, and I really like to have the Sword Lances with rotation. I didn't give them rotation this time because I was trying 9 lives. But normally I really like to have a Sword Lance, like a fairly durable bro that I can just rotate out other bros. So with that said, you have a brother that is less survivable, but still does the same output because of the damage perks are the same, right? And I think if you fix the survivability issue of this build, it might be viable. But it requires you to have a tank that takes the pressure off this guy and an option for the moment when things go wrong. That means a brother that is fairly close with rotation, that can save him in 1 turn, and 9 lives. It's just this one in combination with rotation makes him fairly survivable and abuse resistant. Yeah. Okay, guys, this is kind of like what I tried. Did fairly well with it. He did 90 battles, 148 kills. So he's kind of, you know, a beast. And yeah. By the way, like, we have roughly 90 fatigue with him, so you are getting 50% of your dodge. What is that? Like 8 defense or something like that? Nah, a little bit more. I think 10 defense or something. Roughly. So 10 additional defense from dodge is quite nice. Alright guys, I think this is it for today. I highly recommend you try that out for yourself. And I will do some testing as well. But I think this build has potential in combination with the playstyle that I did. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I stream daily on YouTube and on Twitch. You can give me a follow there if you want to. And yeah, I'm gonna see you in the next video or the next live stream. And thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day, guys. Bye bye.